you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We have with us Matt, the Southern Gooner, top man, top fella, and we have Prince Foud. Matt, how are you doing? Great result yesterday, wasn't it?
Yep. Doing good. Glad to be in the building with you all.
Prince Foud, respect you, sir. You called that. You called it. I didn't agree. I actually went 2-0 the other way, but fair play, man. Maybe we should just shut up and listen to what you're telling us, because you seem to be getting it right.
I hope I get it right against Everton. I hope I get it right at the end of the season. I got a little glimmer of hope that we can still win the title. So let's just we gotta keep winning. That's all we gotta do. And the rest is down to the fate. It's down to the if a miracle can happen.
Yeah, I mean, respect. I mean, you know, I'll always call it. I thought we'd blown it. I still think it's going to be difficult to get it over the line, to be fair. But you never know. Football is a very, very strange thing. And Everton have just scored again. It's now 4-0. So that's mad. Mad. Brighton 0, Everton 4. That is just crazy stuff. But we'll get into this. Now, it was a great performance yesterday up at St. James's Park. I thought it was going to be a tough ask, seriously. But we went there, we showed the fight, we showed enthusiasm, determination, we had quality. And why, Matt? I'll come to you first, Matt. Why didn't we show this when we were 2-0 up against Liverpool, draw 2-2? Why didn't we show this against West Ham? 2-0 up, drew 2-2. 3-1 down against Southampton, draw 3-3. What? Give me your view, Matt. What was the difference yesterday?
I think it was the naivety in those previous games. I think it was the naivety of the manager. I think after 4 weeks, you've got to really. He had to have had some kind of look at himself to realize he screwed it up the last couple of weeks, and you were able to see that he was able to focus the team, get them prepared for a dogfight, which yesterday was. That 2-0 was a very very high pressure 2-0 win yesterday. We literally the game could have swung at any time yesterday, but we held our composure. Whereas we did not do that the last few weeks. And so I just think that the manager had last year also played a factor too. We were playing a team that we were in a similar situation last year, and we bottled it last year. And then you turn around this week, in this year, and it's a revenge game. So the guys were up for it. And, for those who didn't see my fan cam yesterday, it was basically what I said was, we held our nerve after that first strike hit the post, because they could have started panicking and here we go again and unravel and then we having a different discussion. But I know I looked at Arteta yesterday. He was yelling at folks, directing traffic, pulling people to the side, giving directions, stuff that he was not doing in those other previous games. And this is why I said weeks ago, we are going to kind of have to go the way Arteta goes. And it's just one of those things mentally you're going to have to prepare yourself for, because, he's going to get it right some weeks, and then some weeks he's not going to get it right. And it's one of these things that's going to drive us all mad. But it's just part of the process and I hate using that word, but that's just part of the process we have to deal with him. And it's unfortunate. yesterday, for good as yesterday's result was, it really stung knowing that we had Liverpool dead to rights. We had Liverpool dead to right. We had West Ham dead to rights. And we just bottled it. And yesterday, had we won those games, in addition to winning yesterday, we're having a completely total different discussion. And so it's unfortunate. And it's just like I told somebody yesterday, we're the second place team. We played the third place team yesterday, and we represented ourselves as good as the second place team. But just because we're second place, people don't look at that as a success. Look at it as a lost opportunity, because we were leading the pack for the most part throughout the year. Now we still got some. There's a piece of a miracle there, but we're looking at like fine line stuff. I need some of what Prince got down there, some of that belief drink. Some of that belief juice, because I'm trying to find it. But with Everton doing what they're doing today, I'm hoping a miracle or something could happen and bust this thing wide open the last couple of weeks. But in all, Jazz, I'm ecstatic the boys won yesterday, but it's just, for me, it's a little too late. But they did show an account for themselves yesterday, and they didn't just roll over and turn and just wet the bed. So I'm glad they went up there to a hostile environment, and we got a 2-0, and we got out of Dodge. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it is a tricky ground to go and play at. That is for sure. We know that their fans are fantastic. I mean, their fan base never shut up. They are a great asset to English football. That is for sure. And yeah, I mean, they're fighting, and they're doing well. But unfortunately, I think yesterday their tactics weren't what were great. We'll get into that in a bit. Prince Fowl, you called it, so
yeah,
the floor is yours, my friend.
No, I had that. You know what? Because when we played Newcastle last season, I thought we just bottled it. I watched the game. Remember, Jez, we all watched the game and we bottled it. But going into this season, I've seen how they play away, and I find Arsenal, they play sometimes at the time of moment, they play better away than they do at home, especially in the big games. It's like when they went to Tottenham, they went on 2-0. They went to Chelsea and won 1-0. So I just went off the results of this season. I thought, I don't even think Newcastle will trouble us. I think if they're playing us away, we're fine away. It's just our problem is at home sometimes, because we get carried away with the fans. I think the players, some of them carry away, but when they're away, they defend. But I tell you what's interesting is our new defender, because he's really explosive, he's rapid, powerful, strengthful, and you seen him yesterday. Like you said, I watched your player ratings. He was awesome. I knew that defender, our new defender, was awesome yesterday. It's like a new signing. But this is the problem. Like Arteta, you know how much I back him, but the problem with Arteta, he's too stubborn and arrogant, and he's got that naivety. That's his downfall. Like, surely when you leave putting goals, and you got, he's the fastest in the team. He's one of the, he broke all the records on training. He's got strength. He's got all the abilities about him, and you got Rob Holding there. Listen, I don't blame Rob Holding the scapegoat. I blame the things. But if you know this kid is got the ability to be a top player, just throw him in. Because you throw him in against Chelsea, and you put him in a game against Newcastle with all the pressure, and he dealt with it so like it was like work for him. That was the downfall, man. They should have played him more often. I think if against Liverpool, they should have throw him in the. I said that, start, throw him in the deep end. I said throw him in the deep end, because sometimes when they throw in the deep end, they become good players. But we just gotta. But the problem with Arsenal now is they're not giving up. I believe the players think there's going to be a twist, and I do too. So I guess when I heard some of their footballer pundits, when you heard them speaking, they said there's going to be a turn. Everyone's saying Man City is just going to run away with it, but I don't see it like that. I watched the Leeds game yesterday on the Saturday, and when you watch a Leeds game, you see Man City with a bit of fire. As soon as they miss that penalty, And you got to bear in mind they're at home. They look shocked. They don't know what happened. Leeds just went at them. When Leeds went at them, they went everywhere, and they were lucky. Leeds never got maybe could have if it was more extra time. Leeds might have got something out of that game. So I think a lot of like we as fans, obviously we know how good Man City are, and we know they don't lose. But then when you're looking at so actually now, then Everton players are going to be like, yo, they're coming to our ground. We if Leeds can do that to them, we need to do it. We could do it here, and we need to stay up. We need to set an example. So I think it's going to be another twist and turn to the Premier League title. I don't think it's. I know Man City and know they've done it for the last 5 years. They beat Liverpool, but their luck runs out sometimes, don't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm going to ask this question, Matt. I'm going to ask this question. Brighton tonight. Now it's 4-1 in that game, and I've seen a few comments people saying they're breaking down at the right time for us. We've got them this Sunday. We've got this Sunday, isn't it? Is it Sunday? We've got them, and Everton have got Man City. Could this be, in your view, Matt? Could this be a little twist in the equation? Do you see that happening? Because Everton have been fighting for their lives. They've basically taken apart Brighton and Hove Albion at their grounds, who are looking to cement their place in the Europa League. So do you think there could be a little plot twist going down here tonight?
I'll mute my mic. All right. Yeah. What I think, Jez, is I think that the Brighton, I always have felt we were going to probably beat Brighton. It's the Everton match against Man City. Had you told me this that they were playing City without Sean Dyche, I probably would have been like, yeah, they'll probably blow past it. But I just know that he'll think of a wrinkle to just play anti-football, and they'll nick something. I just feel I'm starting to feel like they'll nick something. My question about us is, can we be consistent? That's the problem with us. Like I told you last week, we'll beat Newcastle and we'll go lose to Brighton. We'll draw. We'll do something silly like that, and then everything else we get everything we need, but we wouldn't do our part. It's what like Prince just said. We've got to be if there's any piece of hope here, we have to do everything we need to do, and then whatever happens. Whatever will be. Everton, based off of this performance, mentally they'll know at least we can score goals. And I've said this all year. I've always said this is that the worst team to play is a team that's clawing to get out of relegation, which Everton is a team that's clawing to get out of relegation. So that means they're going to pretty much be up for it out of the gate to try to do whatever. And by the time I think when does Everton play City, Jazz? Is it next week or the week after?
It's this week, isn't it? I think
Sunday, 2 o'clock.
So yeah, so who plays first, us or them?
City.
So they're a little bit of pressure is going to be there for them to have to succeed. And then Everton's coming in with, okay, we got 3 points from Brighton. Let's if we can win this, we're pretty much safe. Unless they completely capitulate. But I think if they can get past get through today and then get through, if they get anything against City, then I think they'll be okay. And then it'll give them confidence. But it's just a catch of, like you said, football is a funny sport, man. You just never know with this sport, man. You just never know what you're gonna get. So, I would love for Everton to go down there and get something. We would all love for that. But we also have to remember that we have to do our job against Brighton, and Brighton's going to be ticked off when they play us on Sunday. They're going to come back over this. This is it's kind of one of those you want it to happen, but you don't want it to happen because it's like, okay, now we got to deal with Brighton because they're going to come with their tails turned up against us on Sunday, trying to prove a point. So we've got to be on our A game, and we've got to be motivated to do our job, and then we got to hope that Everton can go in and do the business against City and get something out of that game from there.
Fact. Time asked a great question. Jez, do you think Arsenal will go one better next season to win the title? Mate, who knows? We might do it now. I mean, I'm not writing it off quite yet. I did say last week I thought we'd blown it, but it all depends now. You know, Brighton, I honestly thought would have battered Everton. Everton have got Man City. We've got Brighton. So it's going to be this weekend is going to be a very, very interesting thing. But thanks for your question, then, mate. Great question. Prince Fowl, do you think this could be a plot twist? I mean, it could be, man. It could be, couldn't it? It could be a real plot twist.
I think, yeah, it could be because Matt just said just then, the brother just said then, is like when Everton will go into this Man City game really confident now, because Brighton have been really solid at home. You know, they beat all. You got to bear in mind, they're just bad Man United there. So and they were unlucky not to score. Like I know it was 1-0, but they give them 90 minutes, beat him. Do you know, like it was so. That's going to be really interesting this weekend because Everton are going to be up for it. Brighton are going to be like, we need to bounce back. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. But I think even if I think Arsenal might beat them, but even if Arsenal beats them, it doesn't mean that Man City are going to beat them away because you got to bear in mind Brighton are the type of team that like he rotates a lot, but he knows how to turn it on when he wants to. Maybe the players might just thought, you know what, we got this, and they might come to Arsenal and think because you got to bear in mind they lost to Wolves, they got battered by Wolves, then they beat Man United. So when Arsenal beats them, it doesn't mean Man City is going to beat them a week later. This team is not a kind of team that like goes on a continuation or a bad run. So I hope we just beat them. I don't care how. Even if we scrape a 1-0 and we defend for our lives for the whole 90 minutes, I don't. As long as we beat Brighton, because they are a tough team to beat. So it's going to be interesting this weekend. It's going to be really interesting, man. And like I said earlier on, I don't think it's over until it's over. And we got to prove. I think we got a player in our team who's got to prove a point against Brighton. I think he's got to start Trossard to that game.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. You know. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what it does because I think like I watched your show earlier on and like you were saying earlier, it's like is he starting to learn now? Like I've been a bit naive. I've got it wrong. Like listen, Zinchenko going forward is something else, but defending is shocking. He's very shocking. Like against what did he play against Chelsea? You know the defense played well, but it was him just sleeping because I don't think he's. Like you said, I agree with you. I don't think he's a defender, so it's going to come down. But I think, I think we should beat Brighton at home, and then go on. Then I think Nottingham Forest is going to be a tough game for us, though, Jez and Matt. I really think I think even though I'm confident, I still think Nottingham Forest is going to be our toughest game of the season. And I think you know what, people are going to like this. Frank Lampard is due a big win, and it's coming against Manchester City.
You're the second person I heard say that today. I've heard somebody else say that.
I respect you, mate, because you're getting it right. I mean, and I'm going to be following you on your predictions because you're proving me wrong. So respect you for that, mate.
I got Frank Lampard yes, to shot to get a big result in this season. So. And it's going to come against Man City, Man United, and Newcastle.
You know, you bring up a good point about Zinchenko. I watched him yesterday, man, and I neglected to bring this up in my fan cam. He got turned. I've never seen somebody defend. His body was going one way, and the player was going the other way.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look at this. I say he just turned him all the way around. You know, if this young man if they're going to keep this man at the club, he's got to go in midfield. Go get a backup left back for Tierney and just chalk that one off as a L, man, because he is not capable of defending. They're going to skewer him in the Champions League if they continue to keep putting him there. But I think that Arteta's starting to wake up to that, Prince, because yesterday I was shocked when he when he brought Tierney off early as he on early as he did. And I said,
Yeah.
okay, well, he's seeing what I see. So apparently he finally got hip to that. Like, nah, this just ain't gonna work. Because immediately when we started the second half yesterday, immediately they ran right at Zinchenko. So apparently the halftime speech was, we're going right at Zinchenko for the rest of this game, and we're gonna break them down from that side. So it was good to see him make that adjustment early on and not wait until if they would have scored a goal.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Joseph says Lee, obviously Lee Gunner, has warped your mind, Jez. Being positive will ensure we manifest this title. It is all falling into place now. Well, yeah, okay, mate. Let me tell you this. I'm older than Lee. I've been watching Arsenal a lot longer than Lee, so I know a lot more about Arsenal than Lee does, and Lee would admit that. So, mate, that comment, sorry, it's
You've got a bit. Can I land on this comment? Like Joseph, I'm Arteta and I support Arteta, but sometimes you as an Arsenal fan, forget Arteta as an Arsenal fan and watching the game and watching the team, can have your own judgment. And sometimes, even if you like Arteta, he's too naive. You know, it ain't about that, and that's why fans are like that. It ain't because they want him to lose or fail, because it's like if he would have done that, look, think of it, Joseph. If Arteta would have brought on Tini in the 70th minute in Anfield, maybe we could have gone up to 2-1 because it was Zinchenko got done, then come off straight away. It was too late then because Liverpool found their mode. So stuff like that is Arteta's fault, and the fans who don't trust him was probably Liverpool player. And I think, you know what? I understand why they can't stand him. Even my friend yesterday, Jez, he's Arteta through and through, and he even said yesterday the guy's too naive and negative.
This is the thing, crowd. This is the interesting fact. I was never wanted Arteta. I never did. I've called him out, and all that. Fair. But I have supported him this season. But unfortunately, due to his naivety in management at the wrong time, oh my God, it's 5-1 Everton now, have called out. I called him out. And the fact is that when you are in a top flight manager, you can't make silly mistakes like that and be that arrogant. But we'll move on from that. Yeah, as I say, it's 5-1 Everton now. So that's just unbelievable. It's falling into place, people, because this could really knock a hole in Brighton Football Club. That can knock their confidence big time. And I just want to say, DVS, the Oregon Gooner, mate, thank you for that super chat. Get Jens to 4K subs. Rat Army. We're on our way, mate. We're on our way. It's been a weird week with the subs. It goes up 1, goes up 2, goes back 1, goes up 3, comes back 2. I don't know. It's just YouTube. It's weird, really weird. But it was a great performance yesterday. Let's get it right. I mean, it was a great performance. We fought, we dug in, but I think Newcastle's tactics, Matt, were a little bit just wanted to kick us off the park. It reminded me of the early 70s types games when you had classic games in the horrible muddy pitches that used to be years ago when players, I mean, Leeds United were notorious for it, you know, with the players they had. They were ankle biters. They'd kick the crap out of each other. And that seemed to me yesterday. I think that referee, Matt, I think he was quite light. Some of them tackles were pretty bloody poor. Elbows being left in, barged in the back. And he didn't, I believe I'm right in saying this, I don't think he actually booked 2 players for an off-the-ball incident until the second half.
Yeah, you're right. That referee yesterday was extremely light. It was one instance there when Jesus took a straight. It was almost like a right cross. He hit him so hard with his elbow, and the guy didn't give out a card. And I said, "Well, that's a stone cold yellow," you know. And it was a couple of tackles down in the first half, a couple of kick outs, you know, and it seemed like Newcastle came out. They went the old Bolton, right? Let's just rough them up. Let's just ruffle them up and get Shaka upset, And I was just praying he just did, he was, how he gets. And so I was just hoping, I was like, please don't let this be another Liverpool moment where you do this and then they rev up the crowd and then we got to deal with this again. But we were able to sort that out. But yeah, they came out yesterday like a house on fire. And then they after they realized that, okay, well, that's not going to work. Then they just went straight to, physical play. And hey, man, kudos to the boys, man. They fought past it. And we were able to get the result. But yeah, there was a couple of massive poor calls yesterday, Jez, that the referee completely missed. I mean, I saw several elbows and kickouts there that, pushing and just weird stuff that normally would go for a yellow. I don't know if the ref didn't want to, if it was too big of a stage for him, because I don't think I've ever seen that guy ref before in a major game before. I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing that gentleman ref before. And I don't know if it was a case that he was scared it was such a big game. If he started giving out cards, then they'll send him back down to the League One or whatever. So I don't know what it was, but I just know that I saw several fouls there that was quite evident that there should have been a yellow card given out. And Newcastle, they came out, like I said, with the intent to inflict pain, and it backfired. And by the time they tried to make adjustments, it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great comment from Arsenal Forever. Eddie Howe saying that Arsenal were wasting time. Well, they did that at the Emirates. Exactly. They did that to us. So I think, respect to Arteta, I mean, Arteta, I think, is a feisty little fox at times, that he thought, well, what you did to us, we're going to do to you. And it was quite evident, Prince Fowler, that they targeted Xhaka, they kicked him around the park, because they knew he's the sort of player that would react as he has, not this season, but last season, when he got sent off. And fair play to Xhaka, fair play to him. I mean, I couldn't stand that guy. I think this season he's been immense because he's played a totally different role. I'm glad he's not playing as an attacking midfield defender, CDM, because he's crap in that position. As an attacking midfield, he's class. And I'll be the first to say it. I will be the first to say that. And they targeted him because they thought they'd get a reaction out of him. And I think, Prince, that their tactics yesterday were to try and rile Arsenal up, try and get them on the back foot, try to intimidate them and get a reaction, and it didn't work.
No.
And respect to the players for that, man.
I liked all the players who was giving it back to them, but doing it in a clever way. It's like, even though they were kicking off Shaka was giving it back to him, but he's just doing it in a way not to get sent off. Because normally, like you said, Shaka will just get up and elbow you. That's a simile. He just got that hot-headed blood in him. But he was just the way he was doing it. And even when the subs come on, it's like, did you see that Nketiah moment? Did you see when they were there? I gotta give it to Nketiah. He tried, but Nketiah just threw his body and threw onto the floor. And the guy got back up and then he said, what? Like, and he got booked for it, but it just goes to show that Arsenal, they tried bullying and they thought, no, if you're going to do it to us, we're going to do it to you. And that was the best thing Nketiah did when he come on. I thought, you know what? Fair dues to him. I thought he was going to just walk away and like, oh, we got him now, rattle. But as soon as they seen Nketiah do that, then everyone got involved. All the players got involved. Because he had to do that. He had to do that. I think Eddie had to do that, and the players had to get involved. And Xhaka, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel, all them players who played yesterday, I thought they handled them very well, even though they were coming down. But it ain't the same Arsenal people think it is. That these guys have got actually cojones. You know, it ain't Xhaka. One thing about Xhaka, even though people never liked him for years, one thing we all say that he got cojones. He's not afraid to hit you back. He's not afraid to get sent off. And I think that's that mentality has been with him. But now he's doing, because he's a bit older now and experienced, he's controlling it very well. Whereas last season, 2 years ago, if they would have kicked him up, there's the red card straight away. Because he would have kicked them. He would have kicked them right back.
And I actually admire him for that. I mean, he seems to have got a whole different mindset this season, and I have to give him respect. Certainly, I really do. But move on. Jorginho, a player I didn't want. I'll be honest. I thought, I gave him man of the match. Personally, I gave him man of the match. I thought his calmness, his professionalism, his balanced mindset really helped the team yesterday. When we were under pressure, I mean, from the start of that game, Newcastle was straight on us. They came hard and fast. We held strong, and Jorginho, to me, I thought was absolute quality. Matt, I thought personally, I gave him a 9. I gave him in my player ratings. I gave him a 9. He for me was my man. I mean, I could have had 2 or 3 man of the matches yesterday. Be truthful, I had to think long and hard about it on Lee's before Lee's player rating thing with Kenny, and for me, he was fact.
Yep, I'd have to say, man, Jorginho surprised me yesterday. Personally, Jez, I actually thought he was going to get overran in midfield, and he just was composed, man. And I was like you, I really was not the biggest Jorginho fan coming in, but one of the questions that I ask is why was he not brought on earlier in that Liverpool game? I mean, this is what you buy a player like that for, True, even at Jorginho is a Premier League veteran. He's been around the block for a while in the Premier League, so he knows how it goes. And so that experience showed up yesterday because Partey, man, it's been rough with him the last couple of weeks. He just completely regressed. But, he came in yesterday, directed traffic, got everything under order. And it showed his veteran. Basically, what I'm saying is his veteran leadership showed yesterday. And that's what you need. That's what you buy. If you're buying a veteran, that's what you buy a veteran for. It's to put him in situations where his leadership, Premier League proven leadership, can guide you over the hump. So yeah, outstanding job, man. I agree. There's about 2 or 3 players yesterday. Three I can think of right out the gate that should have got 9s, 9.5 yesterday. And I'm sure we'll get to the other one in a little bit.
Absolutely. Prince Fowl. I thought Jorginho yesterday, mate, was absolute class. I seriously do. I don't know. I don't know what your opinion of the fella is. I don't think I've actually ever heard you talk about him. To be fair, what do you think?
I think he's a good. I think he's a good player. He's a good player. I think he's good experience, and I think we played him in that game, and it just goes to show how we settled the team and how we settled the players around him and how we responded and how he was like just reading the game and intercepting the game, and when he needed to be slowed down, he'll slow it down, and when he needed to calm it down, he'll calm it down. And when he wanted to, he was one of our best players yesterday. He's a good player, He's a good player. His experience, and I think we should have played him in more games before that. I think he played well when he came on against Aston Villa and settled the game, and then he got on the bench. And I think we should have used him a bit more in the previous games, because in the last 2 games he's just been, like I said, he's been the brains of the club, like the brains of the pitch. Like he's just telling them what to do, relax, and if he sees something, he's throwing at the players, and that's what the players needed when we are going through that time. But like we said, Arteta only learns on the job. He's like, if he was experienced enough, he would have done that. I think he would have thought of that maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and I think we would have been 8 points clear, and the title would be in our hands, like you guys said earlier on. But yeah, Jorginho was a good player, man. I think he's a good player. I think we should keep him at the club for next season, just for them to learn off him.
Great.
You can't get rid of him now. He's champion. He's won the Champions League. He knows how to win, and he's on there. But that's going to be interesting. What they do next season, like, is he going to be playing more just to get the experience behind these players so they can learn off him? And anyone who comes in, they should like a world class. If they're going to go in and bring in someone like this, for instance, like a Declan Rice, then Declan Rice will learn off him when he's playing in Europe. Say, do this way, that way. So keep him for next season. Then after that, you can ship off. Then. So yeah, I think he played well. I think he's been all right signing, but we don't. It's like it's upsetting that we haven't played him as much though. That's what I think. Like, we should have played him a bit more in the previous games because I think he would have calmed down the players like he did in the last 2 games. So
I agree. I really think that Liverpool game. I just think that was so mismanaged. I just think that had we played him, that kind of would have, like you said, calmed down instead of attack, man. Because it just got that game just got away from us, and that's why I said I'm so upset with Arteta about that because it was there, but you as a manager you have to see the game unraveling and hurry up and put in stop gaps. And I will give him this. The last couple of games, he learned from these 75th, 78th minute substitutions that were driving us all crazy too, because that was another problem of why we found ourselves in that situation was we these late substitutions, and he'd been doing it mostly all year, but now he's starting to realize, oh, I need to start making adjustments earlier, or he's playing to the other team's adjustments. But yeah, Jorginho, I would have liked to have seen him playing a couple of those earlier games, even if it's just just to see what happens, because like I said, he's Premier League proven. So at least you've got somebody with the experience out there that can deal with situations like that. That's been in high pressure situations. So, I just unfortunate that we didn't see it. But like you said, next year, he's the type of player, him and Trossard, type of players that you want to bring in. If you want to bring in some high level youngsters or whatever, then those are the type of players that kind of have to guide those players around, that kind of help them find their way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Luke says here, I mean, Ramsdale, I mean, he was outstanding yesterday.
That was my man of the match. Yeah.
Oh, some of them saves he made, man. Absolute world-class stuff. I mean, he was on fire. But I just want to bring in this player, Odegaard. Last season, I thought why have we bought him? Seriously. But the one thing I have to say about him, Prince Fowler, I'm going to come to you, mate, on this one. One thing I have to say about him, every goal he scores is class.
Ain't that crazy, man? Ain't that crazy? If you look at him and you see these goals, you're like, he scored that goal. Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't score tap-ins. Maybe one, I think I can remember he did at the far post. But all his goals are bangers. I mean, mate, that's the sort of midfielder we need. That reminds me of the ilks of, like, dare I put it out there, Vieira used to score goals like that. Absolutely crucifying shots. And if he keeps doing that, mate, well, brilliant. That's all I can ever ask of a player that shows quality and class to score goals like that. I mean, I didn't want him after last season. I thought, why have we bought him? We had him on loan. We bought him. And now he's turning out to be a great, great player.
Hey, Jazz, I got a stat for you. I think I saw it today. He scored 15 goals and 8 assists. I wouldn't have believed it. I couldn't believe I looked at the stat sheet and said 15 goals and 8 assists. Odegaard. Wow.
Yeah. Prince Fowler. Give me your view, mate. Give me your view.
Yeah, I think he's only going to get better. I think he's only like 23, or is he 23? He's played in the Premier League now 2 years. He started to show like he can score goals, he can assist.
Yep.
And next year next year they're going to be up for it again, because I think now I think Arsenal now will be there and above for a few years. I think because whatever happens this season, and it depends on the transfer market. But with Martin Odegaard playing like that, he's only going to get better because he's young. He's not old. He's only going to get better. And if you bring in better players, then you can have even more. You can get more's going to come out of him with better players. Like for instance, if you had a Declan Rice next to him. He's got a free roll then, and you're going to see Martin Odegaard do what he's got to do. He won't be running back as much.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
So So yeah, if you want to like transfers and like that, if you want to touch on transfers or something like like if you want to in a bit, I'm like, like players, it's gonna be interesting, man. I think we got a wicked player for the next 5 6 years, man.
Oh, I totally agree with you. He's seriously impressed me this season. My only criticism is in a couple of the big games this year he has disappeared. But
Yeah, I
yesterday
agree. Yeah,
he stepped up to the mark. That I mean, I don't care. I mean, that was a big game yesterday because we had to get that over the line to stay in this chase for this Premier League. I mean, it's not all in our hands now. It's we've got to think we're going to get lucky and win every game here on in, and maybe Man City will slip up somewhere. I don't know because unfortunately Pep Guardiola always seems to get his teams bang on form right to the end. But we just got to hope and pray. That's all we can do now. Arsenal Manic says, "What happened to El Neni? He's injured, mate. He's injured. He's out for the rest of the season. Although we did give him a new contract in the January transfer window. Why would you do that to an injured player? He's going to be out. I've no idea. Personally, in the summer transfer, he's got to go, along with Rob Holding and a few other players, because we've got to. Well, we're going to the Champions League. We need a bigger squad, and we need class players, not average. Sorry, Rob Holding, you're Bolton level. You know that's where you came from, and it's back where you should go because you're not good enough. You've
I
had a
think he's
couple,
going.
you've had a couple of good games, but you're not consistent enough for my liking. But that's just a good fact here. Arsenal forever. Aaron Ramsdale was the first Arsenal keeper, to keep 10 away clean sheets in a league season since David Seaman 1990-91. Is that right? I didn't know that. Thanks for telling us that, man. Thanks for telling us that. Zinchenko, Matt. Zinchenko. Decent midfielder, absolute crap defender. Sorry, he's cost us this. He's cost us some games. This is what frustrates me. The only thing I will say for Mr. Arteta yesterday, he saw in the second half he was being targeted. He hooked him, brought on Tierney. Tierney shut the gap, and we won the game. If he'd kept him on for another 20 minutes, I'm convinced Newcastle would have scored because they were going down their right wing, targeting him. And it's only a matter of time, Matt, before he cocked up. And then that would have been 2-2, let's say. Because they could have been, to be honest, they could have been 2-0 up in the first half, Newcastle. They hit the post early on and had other chances, but we got away with it and great saves from Ramsdale. But I'm sorry, man. He's no defender, is he? Come on.
Yeah, this will tickle both of y'all, and y'all will laugh once I say this. If Arsene Wenger was still here, Arsene Wenger would put him in midfield. He'd be a midfielder. He would have bought him as a left back and put him right in midfield. Because that's the kind of stuff Wenger would do. I wish Arteta would do that because the young man is good going forward. I mean, I watched him on a couple of those attacks yesterday. He was right there, exactly where he needed to be. And then you look, and it's just like, wait a minute, he's way over here. Who's over there in his spot? And then he's got to go make up all this ground to go back because they got him playing that stupid inverted left back thing, and it hampers us. It has hampered us this season. The goals that we have given up, and he's nearby. If somebody could just put one of those highlight reels of just the goals that we've given up, and he's somewhere by it. And it just proves the point. We've all said it. I think everybody's starting to realize it now. I even heard a commentator announce it. He's not good defending. Great going forward. That's the issue, Jess. Now they're talking about people saying we don't know if we're gonna keep Tierney or not. We must keep Tierney. Tierney came in yesterday and sold it up. Like you said, he sealed that gap, passed down there to Martinelli, on goal, boom, door closed, 2-0, we out of there. That's what a left back does. It shuts off the gaps. I would almost put my house on if we would have brought Tierney in against Liverpool, we win that game without even thinking about it. He should have been starting. Trossard should have been starting a couple of those games. We're gonna go back and forth with this over the next couple of weeks, especially when we find out what the end of the season entails of. Once we figure out what really happens, because we're gonna be able to go back and analyze these decisions. Zinchenko is a player next year. Arteta has got to find another use for him, and it needs to be in midfield. If you're not going to do that, then he needs to be sold. He needs to be moved on. Get what you can get for him. Bring somebody else in to get the job done. But as far as defending, I don't want to see him defending anymore. I really don't, especially in these next few games, because this is the next. Now we had pressure in this game from Newcastle. It's going to be pressure against Brighton because we're going to be expected to go down there and do the job, and we're going to have to get the job done, and then you're going to move on to the next game and then to the next game. So me personally, I would feel better going forward with Tierney at the back and maybe bringing him on as a some kind of a joke for midfield or put him in midfield. But as far as left back, man, I'm sorry, man, he is not a defender. He was never a defender when he started playing. He was a center mid then, and he's still a center mid now. So we're going to have to stop that. That him playing left back is just not good enough for me.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. It's my concern. I'm just going to say, it's 55 watching, only 34 likes. Come on, people, smash the likes up. It does help the channel, gives it more traction. If we can get up to over 45, that'd be great. And great comment. I've just highlighted it here. Daub says, could have. What about our chances? Yeah, we had great chances, man. I'm not having a go at Arsenal. We had great chances. We hit the post, we hit the bar, and it was one of them games. That could have been like a 6-6. And let's be real. But we got it over the line, and it's all credit to Arsenal and fair play because Prince fouled. Arteta yesterday, he got those substitutions bang on in my book. He got them bang on at the right time, in the right time of the game, something I have bitterly criticised him for. He's left it way too late, and it's cost us dearly. Cost us games where we could have actually possibly snuck a win. Or like at Everton, if he'd made those correct substitutions, we could have got out of there with at least a draw. I'm not going to say we would have won that, but we could have snuck a draw. We didn't. And I think this is where my biggest criticism of him is. But how did you see it, mate? I thought they were great timings.
No, the way he did a sub yesterday, they were actually perfect. I mean, you could see Zinchenko was getting caught out, and like it's like another thing with Zinchenko. What I noticed in the last few weeks, especially in that Anfield game when he did it at Chelsea, you think it's like his head's one way and his body's the other way. So because he's so much of a midfielder. Watch the goal. You can see like he's watching the ball from the middle instead of from the left. The ball's getting swung. And the way he defends like a midfielder, because it's like his head's that way and his body's that way. Whereas Kieran Tierney will just go bam automatically to the left. So Arteta got to come with a solution. I don't think personally myself that Kieran Tierney is leaving Arsenal. I think it's all rumours. I think this season we've played the inverted. I think next season Arteta might play Zinchenko in the middle. I got to because. He's got to do something. He can't keep him in the left. He knows himself. Like that Liverpool game was the game he's going to be like thinking, should I start playing him in the middle next season? Because he will change it up. And I don't think Tierney's going to leave. I think Tierney's going to stay. And I think Tierney will be our number one left back next season. I think Zinchenko might be slotted into the middle. And people say for who? I think maybe Partey might be leaving the club. They're saying. I know. There's a lot of Al-Nani might be leaving. Al-Nani might be leaving. Partey, Rob Holding, maybe Eddie Nketiah is getting sold. There's a few players going to be sold. I think Smith Rowe will stay. Kieran Tierney will stay. I think Reece Nelson Reece will leave. Reece might leave.
He's out of contract. Yeah, he's out of contract.
Yeah, I think Reece Nelson's going to leave. So, but then it depends who they bring in. But I think if they bring in that, they are talking about bringing in another left back, but he's more like for Europe football, like he's for Champions League.
Yeah.
He's not. If they bring in that left back, who they're saying they're going to bring in from Florentina, he's for the Champions League. He's more technically like for the Champions League, like. But you're going to need another left back if you're going to slot Zinchenko into the middle. You're going to need another number 2 right back, left back for Kieran Tierney. So they got a. But I was looking at it just then, like the transfer market. All right, Arsenal, we've been linked with so many players. It's like Tillsman. Tillsman, we can get him on a free. Go and get him. Go and get him. He'll help the squad. You want to? If these are the 2 players like on a free. Go and get him. Go and get a Declan Rice. Go and get. We could even get away with getting what's his name. Go to Leicester and try and get James Maddison.
Yeah, Madison. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah, that would be a real good piece of business. Yeah, that would be
you go get them. Go and get them Leicester players. They'll be good for Arsenal.
Yeah. Well, I think Leicester are done, aren't they? I mean, they're
yeah. I think that we really need to prioritize our signings, and we need to do them early. We need to really do those signings early.
That's my concern, Matt. This is where I had this discussion with Kenny and Lee on Lee's podcast early on today. And I said, Edu and that he should be looking at it now. Don't leave it until the end of the season. They should be looking now because we've got 3 games left to the end of the season, and it's time that they should be out there doing the business now. Not waiting until July. Get in there, get it done early, get the players in, get those players in so they can get used to Arteta, they can get used to the players that they're going to be with for a couple of seasons, whatever. We leave it too late.
Yeah.
It's always panic. And then we buy players that just don't fit the bill. And this is what frustrates me. But anyway, Ian says, hi, guys. Please, can I put a request on the live stream? Thanks. Of course you can, man. You're always here. You say, go on. Far away, man. Far away. This is one of the biggest issues that's always been at Arsenal Football Club. We leave things too late. We've done it for years.
Yeah.
Years and years and years. I mean, it used to be back in the days when we had likes of David Dean, everything was done secretly, which was great. But that was back in the days when social media wasn't like it is now today, where everybody knows everything. And it was all secret. Nobody knew who was being bought by who. That's never going to happen again, unfortunately. It is the modern world. But let's talk very quickly. Brighton coming up. They've just been absolutely kicked out of their own ground. 5-1 by Everton Football Club. That is going to be either a big positive for Arsenal, Prince Fowd, or it's going to be a big negative because they're going to be pretty pissed off because they're trying to cement a Europa League spot. Excuse me. So therefore, they're either going to capitulate at Arsenal or they're going to give us a bloody hard time. They're shell shocked tonight. That's a fact. But we need that win. We need that big time, Prince Fowd. How do you see it, mate?
I can see. I can see Arsenal beating Brighton, and if they really want to play in the Europa League, and you know what you got to do, and just beat Manchester City in the game in hand. Simple. I think we'll beat them in the Emirates. I think with you win there, ain't we? You know, we haven't won there for a while. We haven't won there, so we are with you win there. So we should be Brighton, and then Brighton will bounce back against Man City. If you want to play Europe, be Man City. But I see Arsenal I think the way we're playing now is like never give up, and because it's like less pressure on us. I think Arsenal will be able to beat Brighton at home, and then Brighton then know what they got to do. So yeah, I think we'll beat Brighton comfortably, and I think with Gabriel and Kieran, I think if Kieran Tierney starts too, when you have them back four, Gabriel, the new kid, Ben White, and Tierney, you got a solid back defense. Then that defense there going into next season. I hope Michael Arteta does that next season. I hope next season that's our defense. You know, and obviously if Saliba's fit, but if Saliba do get injured, put that boy in straight away because you know he can do it now. You know, but I still think we might need another centre half too. You know, we might need another centre half. But I was going to say, when you're saying about the club, I was going to put a question to you, Jez and Matt. I believe someone like David O'Leary should come and help him.
Yes,
David O'Leary. I mean, no doubt about it.
They won't.
Yeah, they won't. I just want to think if the club, I think Arteta needs someone like him on his side, like upstairs. So we say, what you need? Because he's a good director. Like he's good. I think if the Cronkies really want Arsenal to go forward this club, they go and get O'Leary to help Edu and maybe help things. We're not going to sack him. Bring him in to help him out because Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I feel like when the regime first initially came in, I think that was some of our biggest. That was some of what everybody was griping about. Was like you give these guys with no experience, carte blanche to do whatever they want to do. And they didn't have any experience. You've got David O'Leary who knows what the deal is, and then somebody that can say, like you said, an overseer. This is the problem: is that we don't. You look at other football clubs, they've got oversight. They've got people in the club that know about the club that are born and bred, and then you got us that we've got one guy, and supposedly a second guy, but one guy we know that's supposed to handle all our transfer business. And it's usually, like Jess said, alluded to earlier, it's usually at the 11th hour. You can't keep doing that, man. You cannot keep doing that. This will be year 4 of us waiting to August the 31st, and then we're scrambling down to the meat market to get whatever's left in the box, and then we take it. This is what we got. This is and then we try to hope for the best. It's like I told Lee yesterday in my fan camp. If we're late in the transfer window this year, let it be because we had a major injury. Somebody got hurt. Other than that, we need just like all those players that we named off are players that need. We know they're going to be out of contract or in a situation where we can get those players cut price. There's no excuses. We know we're in the Champions League. For years, what have we heard, Jez and Prince? What have we heard? Oh, well, Champions League, you can go get better players. That's all we get Champions League, we can get better players. If you get the Champions League, we can get a better, greater player. Money comes in, all this stuff. Well, here it is. And if you can get David O'Leary or somebody to come in and what do you need me to do? What can I do for you? How can I help get this over the line? Because I think, Jez, you might have brought it up on Leeds this morning. Edu, I know I heard it might have been Northside. I know I heard somebody bring up about Edu. What major signing has he got over the line since he's been here? What major signing? I mean, a world-class player has he got over the line? And I don't want to hear Jesus and Zinchenko. That don't count. That was more Arteta than anything. What world-class player has this man got over the line to come in? That right there, this next transfer window is going to tell you all you need to know about Mr. Edu, especially now that we're in the Champions League. Because if he cannot get us world-class now, Jez, he needs to be looked at and he needs to be removed. And I'm going to be on that. That's one thing I'm going to stay on for the next couple of months is this transfer window because it makes no sense that we know what we need and we refuse to go out and do it early. It just doesn't make any sense that we wait so late to get that stuff done. I don't want y'all to come to you. I don't come to the United States if you do not have the right transfers before you get here. Just stay over there.
Great comment. Great comment. Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. So thanks for everybody who's been in the chat. It's been some great comments, to be fair. Great comments. Thanks everybody for watching. Matt, the Southern Gooner, always talks the facts, always talks the sense. Shout yourself out, man. Where can we find you? And when's your next show?
I am going to be trying to do something on Wednesday. So hopefully we'll get the show together on Wednesday. You guys are always invited as well. Southern Gooner here on YouTube. I am 20 away from 500.
Good
So
man.
I'm almost there. And you can always catch me after each game over on Lee's channel with my fan account with Lee. And you can also catch me here with Jez. Always,
man. Yeah, I mean, you were one of the first people I actually met on Lee's channel. I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Quite a few years ago now. Yeah, big up to you, mate. Go and support Matty. He's an absolute legend. Talks the facts, knows his stuff, and big respect. Prince Fab, mate, thanks for coming on. Big respect to you. Love your comments. And I'm having to go your way now because you're obviously getting it right. Obviously, I know jack shit because I called it all wrong. So big up to you, mate. Where can we find you, mate, and what are you doing?
You can find me on Prince Fuad on Instagram and on YouTube on Prince Fuad TV. I don't do much content. I'm being lazy, but I'll start doing some soon. And yeah, that's where you can find me. And hopefully now, let's go on and let's win the league, man. Let's win the league. We all deserve it, man. Every fan deserves it, man. Yeah, 2004, we've been waiting a long time. So Man City, just slip up, man. Just slip up.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, I said before Christmas, one of the biggest reasons I want Arsenal to win this league is not just because it make me happy and everybody else happy, but it'll actually give the younger members of this fan base who unfortunately go down the wrong road sometimes with what they say. They'll actually understand what it means, the feeling of what it means to win a Premier League. I mean, I've been fortunate. I've seen Division 1s, Premier Leagues, God knows what. But I really want Arsenal to do this because it will actually say to them, wow, this is what it's all about. Okay, I'm not accepting top 4, top 2, second, third, fourth anymore. I want to win. I really want to win because unfortunately the narrative's been for far too long. Getting in the top 4 is acceptable. It's not. It's about winning. And that's what we're in the top flight of football is about. And that's what we're here for. And that's really why I want Arsenal to do this. And I'll be upset if we don't. But we're in there. We're still there. We're giving it a go. Thanks everybody for watching. And come on, the Arsenal. Let's get it over the line. Let's do it. And guys, we're out here. And bring on Brighton at the weekend. I'll be seeing you on other shows this week. Weekly podcast, Wednesday night with Kenny Ken. And 6 p.m. on Wednesday night. And I'm on, I think, TJ's Thursday night. And then I think maybe the American Idiots. I'm not sure. But guys, thanks for watching. You've been amazing always. And take care. Thank you, Matt. Thanks, Prince Fowd. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.